When you think of crazy animals, you probably think of this: Australia, home to some of the most venomous creatures in the world and the largest reptile in existence. But you'd be wrong, because lurking in the shadows of this concrete jungle, in its waterways, and even in its trees, are animals that are, by any global measure, some of the most dangerous in the world. What if I told you that in this city, you are sharing your space to the world's largest venomous snake, the planet's largest living reptile, and a jellyfish whose sting can stop a human heart in minutes? This isn't the Australian Outback or the Amazon rainforest. This is Singapore. How is this possible? How does a nation renowned for its control and meticulous planning coexist with such primal, untamable wildlife? In this video, we're going on a safari through the Garden City, counting down the most dangerous animals in Singapore. But this isn't about fear. It's about a remarkable story of coexistence. We'll explore how these animals live, why attacks are incredibly rare, and what you should actually be afraid of. This city and nature philosophy is intentional. It makes life better for humans, but it also means we share our backyard with the original residents. So when we talk about danger, we need to define it. We're ranking these animals based on a combination of 3 factors. Number 1, potential for harm. The raw power of their venom, bite, or ability to cause injury. Number 2, likelihood of encounter. How often might you cross paths with one of these animals? And number 3, aggression level. How likely are they to attack unprovoked? Let's start our countdown with some animals that are more of a public nuisance than a deadly threat, but still pack a punch. Kicking things off, we have a creature that became a national obsession, the smooth-coated otter. They're intelligent, charismatic, and surprisingly tough. While they look adorable, they are powerful carnivores with strong jaws, sharp teeth, moving in family groups of up to 20. They are fiercely territorial. While attacks on humans are exceptionally rare, they have happened. Usually when a person gets too close, accidentally corners them, or has a dog that otters perceive as a threat. They are a perfect example of wildlife we need to admire from a distance and do not get close to. Now we're leveling up. Let's talk about things that can really ruin your day. Singapore is home to several species of scorpion, most notably the Asian forest scorpion. Finding one in your shoe is unlikely, but not impossible. Their sting is incredibly painful, comparable to a hornet sting, but thankfully not typically life-threatening, unless you have an allergic reaction. Much bigger problem is the wild boar. These tanks of the forest are incredibly adaptable. They are strong, fast, and armed with sharp tusks. The real danger? They've lost their fear of humans. People feeding them has drawn them out of the forests and into urban parks. Most will ignore you, but a sow protecting her piglets or a large boar that feels cornered can charge, and that can cause serious injury. This is a human-created problem, and the solution is simple: do not feed them. Now we enter the realm of true giants, the reticulated python. It's the world's longest snake. They can grow over meters long right here in Singapore. They are ambush predators and powerful constrictors. Their primary diet consists of rats, chickens, and occasionally cats or small dogs. The reason they aren't higher on this list is their temperament. They're not aggressive towards humans and will almost always choose to flee. Fatal attacks on humans are almost unheard of here, but their sheer size and absolute power demand respect. You'll find them in drains, canals, and the forest like this behind me. If the python is the longest, this is the king. The king cobra is the world's longest venomous snake. Its bite delivers a massive volume of potent neurotoxin, enough to kill an elephant, let alone a human. They are intelligent, majestic, and thankfully reclusive. Unlike other cobras, their primary food is other snakes. They don't want to waste their precious venom on something they can't eat, like a human. Encounters are rare and bites are even rarer. They will almost always give an incredible threat display, rearing up, flaring that hood as a warning. Heed that warning, back away slowly, and they'll almost certainly leave you alone. But make no mistake, in terms of sheer venomous power, this is a world-class predator. We've now reached the top tier. These aren't just dangerous for Singapore, they're among the most dangerous animals on the planet. First, the ancient king, the saltwater crocodile, the largest living reptile on Earth. They are the ultimate ambush predator, perfectly adapted to their environment. In Singapore, they are mostly confined to the mangrove swamps and coastal areas of the north, like Sungai Buloh. An adult salty can crush bone with a bite force of over 3,700 psi. They are territorial and see anything near the water's edge as potential food. So why aren't people being snatched from the riverbanks every day? Really, it's because their habitat is well managed and clearly signposted. Public awareness is pretty high, and if you stick to the designated paths, you're going to be safe. But the moment you disregard these signs, you are entering the territory of a true apex predator. This apex predator has existed for millions of years, so don't walk off the paths. But the danger isn't just in the murky water, it's in the clear water too. Meet the box jellyfish. While not the giant, hyper-lethal Australian species, Singapore's local box jellyfish can still ruin your life. Their stings cause excruciating pain, nausea, and in some cases, a dangerous reaction called Irukandji syndrome, which can lead to cardiac problems. They are small, transparent, and hard to see. Swimmers on Sentosa and along the east coast have had terrifying encounters. This is a danger that is invisible until it's too late. A giant crocodile, a king cobra, a toxic jellyfish. Surely, one of these must be the most dangerous animal in Singapore, but they're not. It's not even close. The deadliest animal in Singapore, and indeed the world, is this. The mosquito, specifically the Aedes mosquito. This tiny silent assassin is responsible for more human suffering and death in Singapore than all other animals on this list combined. It carries dengue fever. Every year, thousands are infected. Dengue can cause debilitating fever, severe joint pain, and its hemorrhage form can be fatal. Unlike the crocodile or cobra, you don't need to go to a nature reserve to find it. It breeds in a flower pot saucer on your own balcony. It finds you in your own home. The fight against the mosquito is a national obsession, a constant war waged by the NEA. It has no venomous bite or terrifying teeth, but by its sheer ability to spread disease, the mosquito is, without question, the undisputed champion of danger in Singapore. We have this incredible list of dangerous animals, yet Singapore is one of the safest places for humans. How? The answer lies in three key areas. The first is space. Careful urban planning keeps human and animals' worlds largely separate. Buffer zones and well-marked trails mean you have to intentionally go into their world to have a negative interaction. Two is education. Singaporeans are taught from a young age how to coexist. Public service campaigns from MParks and other agencies are constant. People know not to feed the monkeys and to keep their distance from boars. They also know what to do if they spot a snake or a crocodile. And lastly, nature is generally shy. The simple truth is that almost all wild animals, even predators, want nothing to do with us. We are big, noisy, and unpredictable. An attack is almost always a last resort, a defensive action when they feel threatened, cornered, or surprised. Singapore's wildlife isn't a threat to its success story, it's part of it. It's a testament that humanity and nature don't have to be enemies, that a city can be home for both people, pythons, bankers, and boars. The danger isn't animals themselves, the real danger is ignorance, ignoring the signs, feeding the wildlife, and forgetting that we are guests in their home. So the next time you walk through this garden city, remember the secret. The wild world that lives alongside you is here. Respect its boundaries, and you'll have nothing to fear and everything to admire.